Nice to meet you,
Nice to meet
Dustin.
you, Jordan.
Nice to meet you. All right, so I'm just going to ask you a few questions. See how you got into where you got into. So, what exactly do you do for a living right now?
I'm a financial consultant with Investors Group. Basically, I tell people I create and protect wealth. I invest in mutual funds. I do insurance, mortgages, everything a bank does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you basically handle people's money for the most part.
Yeah.
So what got you into that? Like, why did you choose to get involved in finance?
I was a carpenter when I finished high school. I entered that field, and I kind of got sick of that and decided I wanted to put on a suit every day and sit in a desk and use a pen instead of a hammer. So that was kind of what pushed me to do it. Yeah.
All right. So, where do you see it going? Like, do you see like you having a larger control of people's money, or do you see finances being less handled by people like you?
No, I think the worse the economy gets, the more I'm needed. I don't see my job ever kind of going away. I think people don't know anything about finances.
Yeah.
So even when I sit down with people, they have no clue on what to do with their money and how to do it. So I take my job and seriously. So I basically teach them how to invest and show them what they need, and I basically do their job for them so they can sit back and not have to worry about that at all. They just sit back and watch their money grow. So
just watch the money grow.
I see the industry going in, like right now I'm paid commission. I kind of maybe see the industry going more of a way where you get paid like a lawyer, charge like an hourly fee.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't really want to go that way, but I know a lot of people at my company and stuff are talking about possibly going that way. I like the commission scale.
Would you see that like cost the consumer more if you went hourly, or do you think it would be kind of better for them and worse for you?
I think it would be maybe a little more costly to the consumer because when I meet with a client, even before I get their money to invest, we might have 10 meetings where I have to drive out to see them, drive home, sit down with them for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Could take 10 times of sitting down for 2 hours. That's 20 hours. That bill's going to be a lot more for them rather than just me getting their money and getting paid a little bit of commission off it. So
you when you do your billing, would you bill from like the time you leave your house, or would it be strictly when you sit down with them?
I think it would just be strictly sitting down with them.
Yeah.
But I just know with commission, it kind of pushes you to do a better job for your clients. When you go to a bank, they're sitting there making $35,000, $40,000 a year. They don't really care if you make money. I care if you make money because then you refer me to other people and I get more clients and I make more money. So the drive to make you money is there when you're on a commission scale. So I think
it's kind of like same with like us. Like essentially, it's the word of mouth.
Yeah.
So if you do a good job, somebody refers you, and then you get more clients and make more money too.
Exactly. It's all about making more money.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing it now?
I've been there for a year.
For a year?
Yeah. I went to Mohawk College for financial services, finished that, and then started with this company right away.
How long was that program?
2 years.
2 years. That's not bad then. Not bad.
And there's no other program like that program in
really?
college. Yeah, it's like the industry renowned program.
So that's where a lot of the people come from.
Yeah, well, because if you go to university, you can't take financial services. You would just take business or economics. Like a lot of people at my office have an economics degree from Mac or something like that. But there's no there's nothing like financial services that teaches you about investing. And I got my mutual funds license and my insurance license through school.
Okay, so they just have like a basic economics thing that covers a wide array. Which is kind of specific.
Exactly, it's specific to exactly. It's built around getting you a job in this specific field. Where business, you could go anywhere, you could do anything, right?
Yeah. Do you ever run into people that try and tell you what's like best for their money?
Oh yeah, constantly.
Yeah.
I have specific clients who think they know everything about investing. They act like I have a client right now who thinks that you buy an RSP, but an RSP just holds mutual funds. They always when they try to talk to me about what they know, it's kind of amusing sometimes.
Yeah, especially because you're the expert. So
yeah,
it's like sitting there
trying to be the expert.
Trying to be the expert. So, do you think you're going to stay at the position you're at, or are you looking to move up?
I love this. At my company, there's no really there's just financial consultants at my company, and there's division directors who basically would come out on my appointments with me if I need help. But then there's a region director who runs the entire region. I work at a Vancaster, so there's really like one of our top consultants who manages like $250 million. He's just a consultant exactly like I am. Like there's nothing like you can't really move up.
Oh, okay.
You work for yourself, and I basically own my own business. I'm just under the umbrella of Investors Group.
So how do they, I guess, get paid at the same time? Like, do they kind of pay you to be on their behalf, and they get a kickback?
How it works is like how the division director get paid.
Yeah.
Well, they have clients just like I do. They run their own practice, but they also basically they just do it just to help new people coming into the business. But the region director doesn't have any clients at all. Once he takes on that role, he has to give up his entire book.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So he, like my regional director right now, his book was at like 70 million when he took this job on. So he just gave that up.
Just gave up
Yeah.
$70
So
million
basically, people
book.
like me take over those accounts, and
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
do you get like a certain amount of those accounts, or is it
it
kind
all
of like
depends.
free for all?
It all depends.
I'll
The,
grab
the
10.
region director divvies it, like hands it out to
Oh,
who
okay.
he thinks. Obviously, the guys who've been doing it for 20 years get the big accounts, and the guys like me who've been doing it for a year get the small accounts.
Oh, okay. So that's how it works.
Yeah.
It's not like I'll take 7.
Yeah, I'll take 10 million.
All right. So where do you see, I guess, yourself or what you hope to accomplish in the next 5 years?
I see myself. I want my goal in the next, I'd say, 5 years is to grow my book to at least 15 million. I know through a 10-year process, a good round number is to get a book to about 30 or 40 million, which would be assets under management that you're
Oh, okay.
managing. So my goal in the next 5 years would be managing about 15 million would be good.
Do you think you're on pace for that, or do you think that's going to be?
I'm doing well in my first year, but it could have went a lot better. It's a tough business to get into. Unless you know people with money, you just have to basically cold call and door knock
Yeah.
to get clients.
I guess it's hard to kind of be like, give me your money.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, a lot of people don't have
there's no lineup at my office for people to say, "Oh, show me how to invest." But people think the banks are safe, so everybody takes their money to the bank. So
I guess is the bank similar to you guys then, and like do they have the same risks?
Banks the exact same structure as us. The only thing that we do differently is we do insurance, and I just think we look after the client a lot more. Like nobody at the bank is going to come to your house
That's true.
to pay you a visit.
They usually
Like
make you come there.
we do life insurance and critical illness insurance, which covers 26 diseases. If you get a disease and you survive 30 days, whatever you set it up for, 100,000, 200,000, you get a check for that in 30 days. What my job would be as a consultant is if that happens, the check would come to me and I deliver that to them personally. So there's nothing more rewarding than if your clients gets cancer and then you get to deliver them a check to know that their finances are taken care of for the next little while
That's
while they
true,
can
man.
sit back and get better. And banks don't do that. They don't even sell insurance like that. Some do, but they don't really, I think, put the effort in like we do. The way
So
we
how
take
do
care of
you
our
go
clients.
about getting clients then? Do you
I-
just call
um,
randomly? Do you go out and hand out business cards?
How I started was it's basically family and friends get you started at first. Then you get referrals through them, and then I do a lot of cold calling and door knocking, which isn't the greatest way of doing it. Referrals is the best way of doing it because if you do something good for your family member, they tell their friends.
Yeah.
So that's where all my clients have come from so far. But I do a lot of cold calling and door knocking. I do booths where, like I did the Ancaster Home Show, which about a month ago, where you set up a booth. Like there's like people there for garage doors, pillows, anything to do with a home.
Yeah.
So we just set up a booth and people walk by and you just introduce yourself. If they have questions, you talk with them, hand them your business card, take their name, take their number. But I think the best way to do it is the door knocking because cold calling, you're just picking up the phone and like there's also the do not call list nowadays where if you are on that, I'm not allowed to call you. So to make a list for cold calling, it takes days just to get one big.
To hang up.
Exactly. If you go knock on somebody's door, it's a little warmer lead than just picking up a phone. Nobody really wants you to call them and say, "Hey, you want to meet up and give me your money?" Like that's, you gotta call. The approach has to be a little bit better than that, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Do you find it difficult for people to, I don't want to say take you seriously, but kind of like relate to you because you are a bit younger than a lot of the people?
Yeah, that's like my business right now, a lot of the consultants are older people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s. Like,
Yeah.
because my job, it's not something like what you're going for, a trainer, where you need you can't do that until you're 70 years old. My
Yeah.
job, you sit in a suit and use a pen every day, so you can do this until you pretty much die. Like
Yeah.
so, there's a big turnover that's going to happen. Like we're going to inherit a lot of these older people's books soon. So it's a lot of older people and younger people getting into it. There's really nobody's in the middle.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I do find, like when I go on a meeting, that's why I'll bring my division director who's been doing it for like 10 years, just so people, know I'm not going to know every answer. So it's just, they take it a little more seriously, but also too, like it's hard trying to get your family to look at you in this light.
Yeah.
Went to meet with some cousins and aunts and stuff, and you show up to the door in a suit and they're like, never seen you like that. They don't really see you in that light. You talk about stuff they never heard you talk about, because when you go to school, you don't go talk to your aunt or your cousin what you're learning in
That's
school.
true.
So they don't really hear you talk like that, and then you're talking about all the stuff and they just don't see you like that. So
Do you find that some people like get embarrassed? They're kind of like shy at having to admit their like financial
Yeah.
situation to you, or they
yeah,
don't want to admit to
most
some
people,
of the mistakes they made?
the Canadians right now are in the worst debt we've ever been in. So most people are in debt and they don't want to admit it. So I find like what we do when we sit down with clients, we do a personal financial review. It's like a little booklet where we ask you your assets, your liabilities, your cash flow, where you're spending your money.
Okay.
And most people will tell me, say you're making 30 grand a year, so you got, you're bringing in $2.5 grand a month, and they only have $1,000 worth of bills, yet they don't know where that other $1.5 grand is going. And I have to tell them, well, you need to figure out where that's going so you can put money towards saving, and because we're not going to have a pension like our dads did, so we need to come up with our own money for our retirement, or our kids are going to be taking care of us for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Which you don't want that.
No, nobody does. I'll end it with, do you have any questions for me? Or?
That's fantastic.
All right, perfect. Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.